Disney Lorcana announced a brand new multiplayer format that's in beta testing. It's called Format Coconut. Of course, Format Coconut isn't its actual name, it's still in beta testing, and eventually they'll come up with its real name, but for now, this is what we're calling it. We're going to dive into everything you need to know about Format Coconut, what it is, what are coconut cards, how do you play, how do you build your deck, some official resources for you, my experience getting to try it out and play with the team at Ravensburger, and also the future of Format Coconut. Let's dive in. Format Coconut is a new multiplayer format for Disney Lorcana. It's currently in beta testing. Their team has done a lot of internal testing and now they're handing it over to the community with the rules they've set so far, and they're asking for feedback. Again, it is multiplayer. It's a singleton format, which we're gonna get into in a minute, and it has special coconut cards that add an extra level of magic to the format to create something really fun and special. The goal of Format Coconut is not necessarily to be competitive and to win, but it's really about the fun interactions and all the shenanigans that happen. So this really is designed for players who want a more casual, laid-back experience that's really focused around the social element of getting together with your friends, playing with your cards, and having a great time. Now, the coconut cards are the central focal point of the format, and there are currently 3 coconut cards in each ink color, 18 total, and the team at Disney Lorcana has said that they're going to be rolling out more. Currently, you can only find these virtually in the Disney Lorcana app, or you can also find a text description of them on the resources page at DisneyLorcana.com. What are these coconut cards? Each player needs to choose a coconut card for their deck when you play this format. And that coconut card is not part of your deck. It's not ever in play. It's like adding another special rule that applies for the game. It could apply only to you and your characters. It could apply to all players, or there's some cards that have like a one-time condition that you can meet and do. But every coconut card adds something a little bit different to the game, and it really will help guide your deck building. Speaking of deck building, let's talk about how you build a deck for Format Coconut. Once you choose your coconut card, you have 1 ink selected. Now you need to choose 2 other inks to go along with it so that you have 3 inks total. You can only have 60 cards in your deck, and it is singleton format. That means a max of 1 copy of each card in your deck. Now you can have 4 copies of your standard card that's associated with your coconut friend. So for example, if you pick Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor as your coconut friend, then you can have 4 copies of the standard Brave Little Tailor in your deck. And when we say max 1 copy, of course we mean the version name. So you can have all the Mickey Mouses in your deck if you're building a Mickey deck. Once you have your coconut deck built, then you just need to gather some friends and start playing. You can have 2 players, but they recommend 3 to 4 for the ideal multiplayer experience. Each player needs to announce their coconut friends so all players are aware of what's going on at the table and any rules that might apply to them or game actions that they take. Everything else about gameplay in Disney Lorcana applies. All the rules are the same. The only difference is that in Format Coconut, you play to 25 lore instead of just 20. I got a chance to try out Format Coconut when I was at the Disney Lorcana Challenge in Indianapolis, and it was a lot of fun. There were shenanigans galore, and I played with the Ariel Spectacular Singer, which was really fun. In my experience, there definitely were some pros and cons, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about that. Pros, definitely it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of shenanigans. It was really fun seeing interactions that in other games are just not possible. And the game can swing wildly at any moment in time, which made it even more exciting. I loved also being able to play with cards and see cards in play that you don't often see in other competitive decks or even casual decks. Because of the singleton format, you just have so many cards, which then leads me a little bit into some of the cons, was that you see a lot of cards that you're not used to playing with or in other people's decks that you have no idea what they do because they're cards that you just never see in normal Disney Lorcana play. So my brain was a little overwhelmed with trying to figure out what was going on, what cards were doing, what to expect, and it was a lot. The other big con for me personally, and this is just a personal thing, is the idea of singleton format feels super overwhelming to build a deck. I know a lot of people love it and have a lot of freedom and creativity in creating these singleton format decks, but for me it just feels so overwhelming, and I really hope that someday if they go forward with this format that they sell pre-constructed decks, because it's just not something that appeals to me to build a singleton format deck. I really just want somebody to hand me a deck and say, these are the cards you should play for this coconut friend. We had 4 players playing in my pod, and the game did take quite a while. I want to say that it was maybe around an hour or possibly even longer, so do expect that if you have 4 people playing, it's going to be a long game. It probably also depends a lot on the coconut friend that you choose and the other decks that your friends are playing in the pod on how long the game will take. Definitely head over to DisneyLorcana.com for some resources. They have both the official rules posted, and also they have a document that has the text version of every single coconut card that they've revealed so far. And of course, you have to download the official Disney Lorcana app. When you go to lore counters, there's a lore counter there for the format coconut beta testing. When you open up the lore counter, you'll see that you can change the players from 2 to 4, and each player can select their coconut friend. All 18 coconut friends can be seen there right in the app. I also recommend you join the Discord because that's where there's a lot of discussion going on. People are sharing deck lists, and you can submit your feedback about your experience if you play to the team at Ravensburger. And they are really listening to the community. They want the feedback. So a few things that I am hoping for the future of Format Coconut. One is I hope that they do release this. I hope that the community feedback is really positive and they figure out whatever they need to do to make this be something that they release into the wild officially as an official format for Disney Lorcana. So that is my biggest hope. My second hope is that I hope they have pre-constructed decks that they sell. Like I said, the deck building part is really overwhelming to me, and I'm sure that that is probably a barrier of entry for others as well. And if I could walk into my local game store and buy a pre-constructed deck for the coconut friend that I want to play, that would get me in. And then another thing that I'm hoping for is that the coconut friends, if you look at those cards in the app right now, they just have the standard art from the cards that they're kind of associated with. But I'm hoping that they either look at doing some alternative art, or that they at least have some kind of special framing or border. That's everything you need to know about Format Coconut. Again, go join the Discord, participate in discussions. If you have questions, let me know. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to follow along for more Disney Lorcana. Thanks for joining me, and as always, happy questing.